Long ago, Yahweh made a promise, a covenant to all flesh, that waters would never again destroy the earth. The rainbow is his sign, a reminder that the same waters that kills the unrighteous provides an escape route for the righteous. Just as Noah survived the waters that drowned sin from the surface of the earth, so Israel later passed unharmed on their way to freedom through the Red Sea, whilst the waters swallowed their 400-year oppression. Moses, who led them through the waters, was himself saved by a floating basket. Yeshua later came through the waters of John the Baptist to be the savior of his people. He institutes baptism that simultaneously drowns our sinful nature whilst passes over our spirit-born nature. This covenant of water holds the promise of a new earth that waits on those who had been saved through water. Then came a second covenant. Abraham stood beneath a heaven ablaze with stars. Each lights a promise. His children would also be innumerable, but first they will endure slavery in a foreign land before the freedom of a new land. Smoke and fire led them from the one to the other. The passing of a torch and smoke through the two halves of the sacrifices would serve as a sign of this redemption. For believers now, the same fire of God's Spirit burned their flesh on the altar of Yahweh's fire, setting their spirit on the journey to freedom. But that is not where it will end. In the last instance, this covenant promises that everyone who survived the fire of Yahweh's purification will also survive his fire's destruction of this earth. The third covenant cut deeper. Because of his faith, Yahweh gave Abraham a sign to echo through his offspring: circumcision. Circumcision would be the sign hidden under clothes but revealed prior to conception, carried by all his children, that the real seed, Yeshua, will be crucified on the cross and then hidden for 3 days in death before revealed as word through resurrection. All the children born from the seed word will also be circumcised, not in their flesh, but their hearts. They will also be as innumerable as the stars in heaven. The final fulfillment of this promise will be when all the circumcised, born of him that was circumcised on the cross, will gather before the throne of Yahweh that gave his word to the world. And finally, a covenant of relationship. He will govern over his children by revealing his will to them so they can live in a relationship with him. The sign of this covenant was blood. Moses referred to the words that will bind his people as the word of the covenant, words on stone. Yet these were only shadows. When Yeshua died on the cross outside Jerusalem, his blood ensures a multitude of children for his Father. The covenant is his undertaking to write his Father's will on their hearts and mind. The children will not only be reminded about this covenant, but they will annually drink his blood, the sign of the covenant, during Passover. Those in whom Yahweh's will manifest will, through obedience, experience its fulfillment. This covenant also has a promise. A people governed by God inherits his kingdom. In summary, the 4 covenants that make up the gospel message. The circumcised Son of God produced children for the Father. He set them on their journey, and through water he saves them from their sinful nature by circumcising their hearts. His Spirit guides them on the journey through the desert of this world, while he separates the chaff of sin on his threshing floor and burn it on the altar of incessant fire. It is also during this time that Yahweh, through his Son, commenced the 4th and final covenant of relationship through instructions and obedience. Those in which all covenants had been fulfilled will live in new bodies on a new earth.